Are your listings plagued by bad reviews? Are you struggling this holiday season to meet your quotas, get to where you want to be because of these negative reviews? Well, I've got good news for you. Our next guest here is the CEO and co founder of Tracefuse. It's a completely legit white hat tactic service that removes reviews that are outside of Amazon's terms of service. This is a great AI tool that we're going to be talking about the importance of it, how it works, and also just the general importance of having good reviews beyond the simple, you want that score to look good. So today's guest is Shane Barker. Shane, it's a pleasure to meet you, to talk more about Tracefuse, talk more about the world of reviews. I admit, before today, and I feel like I'm going to learn a lot today, but before today, I looked at interviews as very black and white. You get a good one, you get a bad one. That's it. So I'm excited to learn more about why that's not the case and why there is a lot more room for sellers and businesses to take this into their own hands a little bit and help improve their score. So, Shane, thank you for joining us.
Hey, man, Pete, thank you for having me, man. This has been awesome. I've been looking forward to this. You guys have been on our radar for a long time, and here we are, man. Looking forward to making some magic happen today.
Amen to that. Yes. So let's get right into it. So tell me a little bit more about the business. Tell me a little bit more about what Tracefuse does, and I want to get into the meaty topics of, you know, reviews and then the world of that. That again, I'm very ignorant to. That I'm hoping to change today. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I'll give you a little breakdown. I am the owner and founder of Tracefuse. So, Tracefuse is tracefuse.ai is the website, and really, what we do conceptually what we do is easy in the sense of what we do is it's very easy to explain. We help Amazon sellers remove product reviews, critical product reviews, and so we talk about critical. That means anything one, twos, or three stars. So really what we look at is we look at reviews, we look at your reviews, and if you're a seller, you sign up with us. And an easy way to explain it is we grab those reviews, we figure out which ones are compliant with Amazon's guidelines. We don't touch those ones. We go after the ones that clearly violate Amazon's guidelines. So mentioning competitors, pricing, cussing, anything FBA related. So really what we're looking at are things that Amazon that made it through Amazon's system, right? Amazon has a very robust system to stop reviews. Some of those leak through. And guess what? We're going to be on the other side of that to say, hey, this person used the F word, this person did this, mentioned an exact price. Those are the types of
great,
things that we're looking for, and the software will indicate. Yeah.
cool. Yeah. No, I'm excited to get into it because again, I didn't even know that. I already learned something already that I guess it makes sense. You can't swear. Jeff seems like a stand-up guy. I feel like he wouldn't want any swearing on his website. But talk to me a little bit more about what are the terms of service. I know it's probably a bigger question than we have time for, but give me a little overview of more than a little more in depth of this is exactly what Amazon says. They don't allow this in the reviews. And some examples that you've seen some funny ones. If you have any funny examples of reviews that you've gotten removed.
We
Yeah.
do. So, yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, if you just look up Amazon's guidelines, that's really where you can go look that up, and it'll talk about, not mentioning of just pricing, but an exact price. So, give you an example of like, if somebody goes and puts something up for Prime and it's $30, and then they increase it to their regular price of 45, somebody can't go on there and be like, hey, I bought this on Black Friday for $30. Now it's $45. It's not worth it, right? You can't mention an exact pricing.
Hmm.
You also can't mention competitors. So if you were Nike selling a shoe. One of the main reasons why Amazon stopped that is because people would go, oh my God, I really love this Nike Air Max. But man, I'll tell you what, I really miss is my Adidas, blah, 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 which it sounds like a positive review for Nike. But what you're really saying is like, gosh, I really love Adidas, right? So,
Right.
and that's kind of like a backhanded slap, it feels like. It's like, wait
Yeah.
a second. So you do like me, you don't like me? Because I feel like you just kind of said you like me, but then you're pointing the finger to go over there. So
Right.
those are the main things we look at. FBA related stuff. So we're talking about, Amazon, obviously, if it's Amazon's fault, what I mean by that is FBA, obviously, it ships out by Amazon. And so if anything ships out like late, broken, or used, those are all going to be on Amazon's responsibility. And so some
Right.
of those reviews get through, and then we take a look at that. And because somebody could say, oh, it took 2 weeks, I hate this product. It's like, well, no, you hated the shipping. You didn't hate the product, right? So, but people don't separate those. They go, well, Amazon shipped it. It must be Amazon's product, so I have to leave them a bad review. So Amazon very clearly says, hey, listen, we'll take care of those. Historically, haven't taken care of them for the most part. I mean, let me take that back. They definitely stop at a certain point and take care of them, and then some of them get through, as in any platform. And then,
Right.
like I said, we're kind of that backup to that. And so if they did miss one of those or something like that, then we filed cases with Amazon, and the clients only pay when reviews actually get removed, so not on cases filed.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that's a that I actually did know about the shipping one. I have seen that before when I was doing an audit for a company. I was like, you guys have so many reviews that you should report. And it was a bulkier
Yeah.
product, and they did FBA, so I could see why that that made sense. And it was driving their score down, which is obviously, again, going back to my ignorance a little bit. That's the black and white issue that I saw on reviews was the only real thing is that they're driving your score down. But now I know a little bit about, and I'll let you go into it because I know I can see you ready to go. A little bit about the stuff with your ranking and where AI is the Rufus is finding you. So talk to me a little bit more about the importance of having good quality reviews.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, whether it's, AI or whatever, in your minds of what that is we all do the same thing. We go to Amazon, whether you understand that or whether you recognize that or not, is that the minute you go to Amazon, we all look at the reviews. I mean, that's just hands down what we do, right? And so we go and we look and we say, okay, great. If there's anything over 100, let's say, and it's a 4.2, 4.3, great. We feel good about that,
Hmm.
right? So, okay, awesome. Then that just is my first check to say, okay, great. Do I want to actually maybe look at the reviews? Do I want to see if it's Amazon choice or whatever that may be? That's the indicator, right? And that's what Amazon looks at as an indicator on whether they should promote your product or not promote your product. So when we talk about BSR and where you're at in there, that absolutely has to do with your ratings and your reviews, right? And one thing's that important to indicate or to let everybody know is that we only go after reviews that are physically something written because that's the only way that they could be against Amazon's guidelines. We can't do anything with ratings, which is unfortunate because there's some things that people get legit ratings and some people that get attacked and things happen there, right? So
Right.
our software actually does indicate that as well. We look for fraud as well in that. There's a few different ways that we can look at that. We can talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, the reviews. I mean, your PPC cost is affected by the reviews and the reviews that you get. I mean, it affects everything. If you can have an amazing product, but if you have bad reviews, you're pretty much done for the most part, right?
Right.
Like there's not right, and that's what's very unfortunate. And the unfortunate part for me, or for I guess for any seller, is if you have a product that everybody comes out with a product, you obviously want to improve it over time. Nothing's
Yep.
going to come out perfect, right? And there's going to be something wrong with it. So that's okay. That's just building a product, right? With the product you had 5 years ago and the product you have today, probably two totally different products, right? Might be
Right.
some similarities, but they've definitely you've pivoted, you've changed some, boxes, whatever it is. Well, what we look at with that is that, when those reviews come in and they knock you down, once again, you can have a terrible product but great reviews, and guess what? Then you're gonna outsell your competitor because your competitor has bad reviews. And a lot of the times companies, people will go and attack the other company to be able to make that happen, right? So if
Right.
they have a better product and stuff. And so we see that a lot more like in supplements in the US. Definitely like beauty, pet. Those are the then I think the reason why actually I know the reason why is because of the lifetime value,
Right.
right? So in other words, if you're using, if you have your dog loves certain types of treats, like if you're my dogs and you like a certain type of treat, my wife will there is no amount of money that she can spend, or actually, there's no limit on
I
the
was gonna say
amount of
there's
money that
no.
she would
Yep.
spend. Yeah, yeah, something. She
I know
spends a
that.
lot of cash, I guess is what I'm really saying. And she can probably hear me, so we'll all probably have to have a discussion or go to
She's
counseling
standing
after
there
this,
in the
but
she's standing there in the door, shaking her
yeah.
head.
Yeah, just with dog treats in her hand, like, "Don't you bring that up again
Right.
on a podcast. I told you about that. It was a secret." Yeah, so, and so really what we're looking at is if my dog eats, 1 treat a day, the bag's a dollar, a dollar per treat, let's say it's
Mhm.
$30. Well, guess what? If my dog lives to live 10 years, 10 years times 12 is 120, times 30 is a lot of money,
Right.
right? So that's really what we're looking at here is that the lifetime value, the cost of the item is not that crazy. You're not going to go and buy let's put it this way. Let's say we both sell bikes, right? And they're really nice bikes, $10,000 bikes. Are you going to come and buy 10 of my bikes for $100,000 to give me a bad review? Probably not. That doesn't make sense from an ROI perspective, right? Like but
Yeah.
now will you go, if we both sell dog treats and you can go and buy 10 of them for $30, that's $300. I'm not saying that's worth the investment because that's not the right way to do anything, but that's what companies do. They look at it and say, okay, if I can just knock you down, especially before Prime Day or Christmas or anything like that, then that becomes a situation you get knocked down. And then they also know that Amazon, if you reach out to Amazon, their customer service is not bad, but it's not phenomenal by any means. So
Right.
they also know that you're not going to probably get anybody's attention. It becomes very difficult. So for us, I always encourage Amazon or sellers to say, hey, to come to us and be more proactive than reactive, right? Like,
Right.
hey, come in, let's go ahead and protect those ASINs because we actually monitor the ASINs moving forward. We don't not only go back and grab the reviews, but we also monitor them moving forward. The goal with Tracefuse is to really set it and forget it. Is for the as a seller, as you know, you have a million other things to worry about,
Right.
right? I mean, just and so what I my goal of Tracefuse was to be able to go in, add your ASINs that you want, and then we go and protect those. We grab those reviews. You only pay for reviews that get removed, and then guess what? And then we protect you moving forward because I just know it's a huge pain point because that can directly affect so many things: PPC costs, your sales, how happy people are. I also know for a fact, we've had customers come to us and say, "Hey, they had a big deal with Walmart, and Walmart went and looked at their Amazon reviews, and there was some bad reviews, and they took them. They were going to put them in 20,000 stores. Now they're like, we're just going to test 3,000 stores. So Amazon reviews also can. I mean, it's not just the your how much money you're making, but it also can affect somebody goes and looks at this and says, "Hey, you got some terrible reviews there. Do you think Walmart's going to want to take you on?" They assume those are correct reviews
Mhm.
and those are valid reviews. So once again, my thing is always to be more proactive. Hey, come in, get them protected, clean those listings up. Don't wait until something hits the fan and then all of a sudden you're 2 weeks before Christmas and you're like, "Oh crap, what are we gonna do?"
Right.
Because I'll admit our process when we file cases with Amazon, we're waiting for Amazon to respond. And that doesn't happen overnight a lot of the time. So it's a little bit of a slower process because we're obviously compliant with Amazon. We want to make sure we're not breaking any rules.
Mhm.
And that's a little bit of a slower process. So I tell people, hey, you reach out in whatever, July, and we start removing reviews, guess what? You'll be good in a few months. But if you reach out to me December 18th and say, hey, can you clean this up in 6 days? I mean, I wish, right?
Be
I mean, I
nice.
wish I had that kind of magic.
Yeah.
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 My wand doesn't work as well these days. I've been using it too much. So anyways, that's kinda my point, but yeah, we're doing good things and we're excited about it.
Love it. Love it. No, it really is helpful. One of the big things I always like to stress about why I love doing this job is I like to learn things. So that's your next step. After you get past Amazon, there's a large market on Amazon for whatever your product is, especially if you're in a certain type of market. But you want to expand beyond that. And we always stress to our current partners, like, hey, how are your Amazon sales? But I've never, how's your Amazon content? But I've never said, how are your Amazon reviews? Um, so that's really, again, very interesting to think about as an extra proponent of, your content looks good, great. Your ad spend is great, awesome. Are your reviews up to shape? So it's never something that I've thought of as a component to work. I've always just thought of it. You either get bad reviews or you don't.
See, and
So
and I'll tell you why that is because people don't know about Tracefuse, because most sellers that I talk to that haven't had a friend that used us or is
Mhm.
using us or something like that is the same thing as most people like, I'll tell you when I started the company, this is a funny story. So, I started out Powwow, this was, in Florida, went to a conference out there, and I was newer to the Amazon space, and I was like I'd go and meet people, I said, "Hey, we can remove, your critical reviews and your product listings." They're like, "Yeah, we're not really into the black hat thing." And I'm
Mm.
like, no, 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 like, this is, like, legit, like, my company we can do it, like, it's not we're not doing weird stuff, we don't collect the money through, like, a black out like, an alleyway and black tinted windows, like, "Hey, give me
Right.
cash," and, like, we're legit, I mean, I put my face on the company for a reason, not because I want everybody to see me, but I mean, I guess it is I want everybody to see me, but I want them to see me in the sense that, I have a long background in the digital space,
Right.
so I wanted to validate what we were doing, there's no way I would put my name on something or start something that was gonna be unethical or do anything wrong, so I thought, well, if I put my face on it, because reputation management doesn't have the greatest reputation. A lot of it's kinda like feels like it's a little seedy, you don't know really who's doing the work,
Right.
and so I wanted to change that. I said, "Well, I'll put my face on it," and I've put way too much money into my personal brand. We won't go into numbers, but for me to go and ruin that over a business, over money, I would never do that, and so that's where things became interesting, but people really didn't believe that we could do this. This was 4 maybe about 4 years ago. We've been around about 5.5 years. We did 2 years of testing to figure everything out. So, they didn't believe that we could do it, and so that was difficult because I was like, "No, we can," and, but who wants to do the first dance? I mean, especially if what happens if we weren't compliant? What happens if your account got suspended, something happened?
Right.
And so people were worried about that. Now, we have 700 brands we work with, and we removed over 16,000 reviews. People aren't worried about that as much, but in the beginning, that was a huge factor, and I don't blame them.
I
I wouldn't want some guy that come
Yeah.
knocking on my door and you're like, "Hey, dude, sorry, buddy, like, I don't know you,
Right.
and you're I just too much of a risk." And now it's
Yeah.
like, now the big question is, oh my gosh, don't remove reviews too fast because we're anyways. It's very different. Back in the day, it was like, I don't really know you, buddy. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Which I get it.
You knock on the door and people are saying, "I don't want any snake oil. No thanks."
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
right.
And I don't
So,
blame them.
yeah.
I was thinking the same thing when I was saying it. I was
Was
like,
one of my
no, it really
questions
is
was
possible.
yeah, was
Yeah,
how do you go about circumnavigating that? And I know there's like you said, there's a lot of black hat tactics out there, and there's a lot of shady things that go on with like you said, reputation management, to make it sound like a mafia business, like, "Oh, I'm in the waste
yeah,
management business. I'm in the
yeah.
reputation management business," and stuff like that. So, how do you guys differ, and what are the don't share your secrets, but what are the ways that maybe you really stay within the guidelines, stay within the white
Yeah.
hat tactics?
Yeah. So really, there's a number of different ways. Is that first of all, we follow their guidelines to a T. So if Amazon says, "Hey, you can only do this," we're doing this, right? I mean, we want to make sure we've never had an account suspended. I'm very very proud of that. Yeah, because
Knock
that's
on
that's
wood.
obviously big, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
huge.
just knock on
Huge.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And so the thing is, I mean, I've had clients, actually a number of clients, big clients with a lot of money that have said, "Hey, can you do this twice as fast or three times as fast?" And my answer to them is always no, because I don't if it was just for money and I didn't care and I was like, "Oh, I could put your account at risk," then I still wouldn't do it. That's just not the way that I work, but, like, maybe some people would, and I just tell them, "Hey, listen, like, don't if there's anybody out there that says they can do it, oh, they can get these removed in 24 hours, be very cautious of that," right?
Yeah.
Like, if they could do it, I would know about them, and guess what? I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen if that was the true situation.
Right.
Don't get sold on something. I'm telling you this is what the timeline is because that's compliant.
Mhm.
If your account, you wanna put it at risk, you're not worried about that as much, which you should be, then you can hire another company and see what can happen there. I'm not saying there's not other companies out there that can do things similar to us. Nobody has the history that we have and, the software and all that we've created as proprietary to us. But it is you do have to kinda look at it and say, "Okay, like, does this pass?" If it sounds too good to be true, then it's usually too good to be true is the way I explain it to people. But I had 2 customers, like, literally, they were offering me 6 figures for 1 ASIN, saying, "Hey, we've got unlimited budget on this thing. Just knock out as many as you can." And it was like, "Hey, guys, like, I only get paid when reviews get removed. So guess what? I wanna remove them as quickly as you wanna give me the cash." Like, I
Right.
love that's awesome. The problem is I I pride myself on saying that we've never had an account being suspended, and if
Right.
we do get an account suspended, then I can't say that.
Out the
Also, I
window.
don't want your
Yeah.
account to get suspended, right? Like,
Right.
it's not just about me. It's like, "Wait, like, I want you guys to still do good as well, but it doesn't matter." And it's like, "No, it does, you guys." Like,
Wha
that's you
That's
know,
crazy, it
it
doesn't
it's
matter. They would say that.
Oh, yeah.
That's nuts.
No, it is crazy, like, and talking 6 figures. They're like, "We have over $100,000 for each one of these 2 different companies."
Right.
And I was like, "Man, I literally over $200,000 just waiting, but I just can't just for me, it's like." Yeah, it's crazy that they would even consider that because 'cause I'm like, "Why would you guys even wanna do that?" Like, that's because if you get it anyways, it just didn't make sense, but I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
listen, I want" like, we're gonna have to continue at this pace. If somebody else says they can do it faster and you wanna go with them, we don't have any long-term contracts. You can jump ship and try it. Just be careful, trust your spider sense. If something's funny's going on, you feel like something weird's going on, just don't get in trouble."
Right. And it's crazy to think that you would risk I mean, at the end of the day, you're never gonna risk, um, getting rid of the reviews faster for the potential loss. I mean, the boost in sales that would come from that cannot be anywhere close to the potential loss in sales of your ASIN getting shut down, or worse, even
Ye
your account getting suspended. So I don't know.
well, we're here for the long term,
Right.
right? I mean, that's really
Right.
the goal is like, and they should be too. But the thing is, so I grew up in the SEO space. So
Mhm.
I do get there's people that would create businesses, want to game Google, just do 6 months of as much revenue as they can, and then they get shut down. They don't have a problem. They would burn, domain names and stuff. That's not my business. I've always done long-term business. So my thing is like, is this going to I don't do quick sprints for quick money if it's going to eventually jeopardize my business because I have employees, I have a reputation, I have all these things that are on my shoulders, right? I need to make sure that they're taken care of as well. And if I start doing outlandish things and crazy things, that affects a lot of people, affects people that, sellers who that's just how they feed their family, my employees, and I'm the reason they can feed their family because of the hard work they do. So anyways, it's not just me, out there pulling levers. This affects a lot of people and just my name. My name itself and just being honest in how we do things is way more important than any dollar amount
Love it.
that I could ever make from any of that. So
Love it.
yeah,
Very honorable. I love it, Shane. That's great.
thank you.
Um, no, that is very respectable because I know there are some people I mean, that's the reason I think you guys exist is there are some people that'll do that in a black hat way, and then they kind of get um, cooked. I was gonna say a different word that wouldn't be YouTube would not like me to say. They kind of get cooked over, and
Well,
it's not what you want to see. So,
no, it happens, and the other thing is just we also we've had I've had to drop a few clients on when I found out they were doing tactics that we didn't agree with.
oh wow,
One of them was a really big client that they sent us an email that said some stuff that was about them doing things that were, in my opinion, unethical, in the review space, and so I said, "Hey, you guys, I don't mean to be a bad guy, but I just can't work with you guys. Like, if you're doing things and I don't know about it, it's your business, but you just said something that clearly you were going after a competitor in the email. You didn't realize it, and you said, and I just can't be a part of that. So that's the other hard part too. Is like I do very ethical business, but you gotta I can't be a part of anything that, and not just for my own reputation, but also for the business. I don't
right,
want that ever come back on me. And if you're doing
yep,
something, I get it. You're getting a little froggy. You might be doing something outside of the lines a little bit. I just don't want to know about it.
right,
I want to just do my business.
right. That's honestly my dream is to get CC'd on a sort of crazy, dramatic, "Hey, we're gonna do this bank robbery," and I'm not involved in it, but they CC'd me 'cause they thought the guy's name was Peter Sim, and they typed in my email, Peter Sims, and then now I'm on it, and the police come and
And
they
you're
say,
part of it.
what do you have to do with this?" And I say, "I have nothing. I was just
I
CC'd on the
just,
wrong email. That's not even I
yeah,
wasn't even there. I have an
just,
alibi. I'll know the
sir, I'm
day."
just eating my popcorn,
Right,
just
that's
watching, waiting for this to all go down. And I'm glad that you're here because now I'm going to have you on my podcast.
right. I
So
booked
this
a
is
hotel
awesome.
room right above the bank. I looked out my window, watched you guys arrest them. You're
Just,
welcome.
just,
Yeah, I'll tip 'em off.
I,
That's what I'll do.
yeah.
That's what I'll do. I'll call the police and say, "I have a great lead for you. I want half of whatever they're trying to steal as the reward." No, but, it it's kinda speaking I actually really I didn't plan this. I was trying to be funny. Trying is the key word there. This actually segues great into my next little question I had as far as these bad actors go. So there are plenty of people out there that are doing things that are not allowed, and Amazon's doing we'll get into I wanna hear if you know about what Amazon is doing to fight abuse review, but before that, what have you been seeing maybe the last couple of months, maybe last couple of years? What has been emerging? What has been the evolution of marketplace abuse over the last year? Have you seen that people are doing these more complex forms of review manipulation that you guys are catching, or that you're just seeing, or that people should be watching out for?
Yeah. I mean, there is. I mean, because the thing is, this is review manipulation, really anything. There's constant evolution, right? And Amazon does everything they can to, whether it be AI and, trying to fight that. But like I said, I grew up in the SEO space. So the minute Google says, hey, we've stopped this, there's 200 people that just figured out a way around it. I mean, it's just the reality of the situation, right? There's always going to be something. People are going to, if there's money to be made, they're going to try to take advantage. Not everybody, but people do, right? And so a lot of the stuff that we see, when we talked about like fraudulent stuff, when people are doing fraudulent stuff,
Mhm.
we do see a lot of, once again, people doing the like backhanded slaps as I talked about. Oh, I really like these shoes, but I wish these are better.
Right.
We see a lot of that. We also now when we grab the reviews, we pull the reviews all the way back when the ASIN was created. There's a lot of people that were attacking other people, and what they were doing, they were very lazy. What I mean by that is they would have 10 comments, they would hire a VA,
Mhm.
they would have 3 different accounts, and they would copy and paste those reviews. Well, our system looks at that and says, well, these are the exact same reviews for these 3 buyers. Like there's no way that's even possible.
Right.
Talking statistically, right? So in those situations, I think a lot of that has changed. I don't think they're doing that as much because now we're on it, right? Before Amazon was kind of on it, but not really policing as much. And so they've said, "Oh, we got through with it. Great, we can continue to do this." And so we're going to look at that and say, "Nah, you're not getting away with that anymore." So what we have to stay on top of is the current stuff that's happening, right? Like we have the past stuff. We know, there's a review velocity. If you're getting one star a day and all of a sudden you get 20 in a day for 3 days, that flags our system.
Right.
Everything that what we're looking at, we're always trying to find the black hat tactics
Mhm.
because then we want to implement that into our software to look for that. And so that's kind of what we do. Because it's nice to know what people are doing to game the system, and then we have to figure out how are we going to stop that. Because at the end of the day, I just want to even the playing field for sellers, right? I mean, they already have
Right.
enough, as we talked about, to deal with. And and I've seen some amazing brands that I've talked with that said, God, I wish I would have knew about you a year ago because we're out of business now. Right.
Oh,
It's just brutal. I mean,
yeah.
great businesses because they just, if you go and you attack somebody and they launch, And guess what? You go give them a one-star review, that launch is pretty much done unless you can get that review removed. So that becomes very difficult. And I just like I said, I our goal is always just to even the playing field, and if that's you're getting attacked by somebody, I wanna find out who that is, and I wanna flag that, and I want Amazon to know about that because you should be able to do good business, right? It's good marketing, good, optimize your listings, great pictures, just do good business. I mean, if you just do good business, there's plenty of money for everybody. I think let me check. I think Amazon, like we just had Black Friday, I think, a few billion or 11 billion, whatever the number is, I think there's enough cash for you,
Yeah,
right? I don't know if you need 7 Ferraris and 8 houses. Like, really, there's enough, and if you just do good business,
right.
the problem is, I believe that people started attacking and doing funny stuff, and they get attacked, so you attack, and then it became this thing that it didn't I don't think it necessarily needed to be,
Mhm.
but it's just because of the evolution of Amazon and other platforms as well, but
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
I don't need 7 Ferraris. I need 1 Honda Civic, and I'm good,
Boom!
It's a
Dude,
great car.
I miss my Honda Civic,
It's
man.
a
I
great
had a
car.
I had a Honda Accord too, man. I
Ugh,
love
both
that
great.
thing. Anyways,
Both
good
great. I did,
300,000 miles all
oh, yeah.
day.
Oh, yeah. I've got one at home now, that I don't drive as much. I let her rest, which is good. She needs it.
The
2012.
classic.
So, yeah, it's a good car.
Yeah.
It's a good car.
It's your baby. Of course.
I'm hoping to put out a nice electric hybrid model. I think they have a hybrid maybe, but I'm gunning for an electric one in the next 5 or so years maybe. I'll finance something, we'll see. But yeah, no, it's, you're right, there is plenty of money out there. That's the bottom line there is that you have enough money to buy, uh, a nice Honda Civic, and that's, I don't think, a problem. So, I wanted to finish up, Shane, with, some final thoughts just on also a little bit on you mentioned this already a little bit, but tell me a little bit more if you know about what is Amazon doing to fight this abuse of power? We've seen some things, and obviously, like I said, it's not even 5 years anymore where they wouldn't even care. They do care a lot now, and they're investing a lot into this. What is Amazon on their side of things doing to maybe either prepare sellers, or maybe what are you guys doing even too to also prepare sellers to is there a way to prepare them, or what are they really doing to fight this abuse of the marketplace manipulation?
Yeah. I mean, Rufus and all the AI that they're creating and those different things that they've got going on there. Obviously, they're continuously improving that, right? And Amazon has said that they stop, I want to say it's like 200 million reviews or something, some crazy amount, right? And of course, we don't see that, right? We don't see the amount of stuff that goes through. Only thing is we get mad about is the ones that do seep through. Well, imagine if there was 10 times as many or 20 times as many.
Right,
So I do believe that Amazon is doing, everything that they can, right? I mean, Amazon wants a clean platform and they wouldn't have guidelines and stuff if they didn't care about what was being said on the platform.
right,
They definitely care. For us, we're just like that backup. We're kind of like the backup quarterback. We're ready, like, hey, this quarterback gets hurt, something happens, somebody gets through the review system, guess what? Then we're there to be able to make that happen. And
right,
I do believe that Amazon is beefing it up. I mean, they have obviously the FTC. There's, FTC is also looking at some things as well. I think Amazon was already being proactive before that happened to be able to go through and take a look at these reviews. I think a good amount of them get stopped by Amazon. I do believe that. And then, like I said, we just pick up the ones after that and saying, "Hey, here we go." We file cases, and then Amazon will go and see that and get those removed. It's a little more tedious than what I'm explaining. It's not just clicking report button and filing a case. We do have to stay on top of them, but
right. But
that's what we
still,
do, right?
yeah,
We built out a program or a platform to be able to do that. And once again, I make it so the sellers don't have to worry about it. That really is our big goal.
love it, love it. Wow, yeah, no, again, it's very fascinating, the world of reviews. Um, Something that I was not privy to, or something that I was not aware of as much until now, until today. So I thank you for joining us, and I thank you for informing me about this. This is great. Yeah.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on
of
today,
course.
man. This has been
Shane,
awesome.
where can the
Yeah.
people find you? I'm gonna have your LinkedIn down below, but what else should be in the description down there? Your website? What
Yeah.
do you got?
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll actually even one up you on so we do have a website, obviously, of tracefuse.ai. But I think what we'll give to you guys too, this is going to be something that we've created. I talk about just wanting to help sellers. And so we've done some things to actually prove that. What I mean by that is we actually have a thing called the Amazon Review Checker. And this is a free tool that any seller can use. What it is, if you go to the website, it'll say Amazon Review Checker, and we'll give the link in the show notes.
Mhm.
But what happens is you can click on that. You can go and put in your ASIN, verify your email address, and we'll actually send you a report on your last, let's say, 5, 10, 15 reviews, which ones are in violation. And then what you can do is you can file those on your own. So that's the exact
Mm,
software that we use internally for our own team. You can go and do that. And we actually even have a PDF, and we'll put the link in the show notes as
yeah.
well, where we file and how we file. So literally sellers can go do this on their own. Like that is my goal is, obviously it cuts into our business, but if for me at the end of the day, like I want people to know that when I say that I really just care about sellers, I mean, great, I want to make some money, but at the end of the day, like if you can go do this on your own, like you don't even need us, right?
Right.
We've already kind of put those things together. So the PDF, and the other thing is too, is when they go and they sign up, or when they go and do their put in their ASIN, when they get that report in the top right hand corner, there's going to be a calculator that we just created. We had an older calculator was good. This one is actually crazy. We call it our super ROI calculator. And what happens is you can actually put in your exact numbers. AI will give you an estimate, but you can go in and say, okay, hey, if we wanted to remove whatever 10 critical reviews, 1, 2s, and 3 stars, this will say, hey, this is going to be approximately this is what the cost is, and this is when you're going to break even, and this is how much more money you're going to be making. And so we've created that. The goal being is that, does that make sense to protect that ASIN to hire us? And if you don't want to hire us, go do it on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll include that in the show notes.
Very
It's
cool.
kind of a freebie. Everybody can go check that out. And once again, if you can't do it on your own, we'll always be here. But I'm really hoping I'll say a good prayer to the Amazon review gods that good things happen for all those sellers. Thank you for that.
Yes.
All that.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's like a gang sign or
Right.
something,
I'm
which I
just
do
I'll have your
appreciate too.
fingers crossed, but I also will
Yeah.
say a prayer. Yeah. No, no, Shane, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you informing me and hopefully informing all of you out there as well, everyone listening. Like I said, we'll have all of those links to all those fascinating tools down there in the description. Make sure to check down below, as well as Shane's LinkedIn profile, so you can stay up to date on all the things, reviews, and give him a good follow or connect. So, Shane, I appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you talking to me, and we'll have to.
Velocity Pete. It was an
Yes.
honor, my friend. Absolute honor.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it a lot. If I had a nickel, I'd have 2 nickels today.
It's
That someone said it's an honor.
it's,
That's
it's
nice
a
to hear.
start.
It's nice to hear I put on a good
Yeah.
show. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I appreciate you
Absolutely.
coming on, and we'll have to have you back in a few months maybe to talk more about the next wave of review defense, or if something crazy happens, I'll keep my nose to the ground and listen for any related things. Like there's a giant bot farm in India pumping out fake reviews, or China. Don't sue me, India or China, even though I know those bot farms are there.
Probably some validity to that for sure.
Thank you all for watching. I am your host, Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.